Hello everyone, I'm Tianyang Liu from Wuhan University. I'm going to present this paper, The Role of User Reviews in App Updates, a preliminary investigation on app release notes. So this is outline I'm going to discuss today. With the rapid progress on mobile techniques and smartphones, the number of mobile applications rises dramatically every year, and this brings a massive set of user reviews and developers are responsible to provide app update descriptions. App reviews have been recognized as an important source of user requirements for app updating and maintenance, and this release notes also kind of textual documents delivered to the clients regularly can be damn good candidates to highlight those characteristics of updated apps for exploring the factors that influence app updates from app reviews. So we all know that users are afraid to post praises, complaints, and requests as reviews or ratings to the apps, and many researchers have contributed to extract user requirements from user reviews for classification, prioritization, analysis, and so on. This extracted valuable information can help developers update their apps, and further they can write down the updating details in the release notes. And existing studies on release notes intend to explore the characteristics and development trends of app updates by analyzing the posting time and content of release notes. Ideally, this forms a kind of loop. User post reviews and developers accept the suggestions or address the problems mentioned in the reviews, and developers post the release notes according to the modification, and the users give feedback in user reviews to respond to developers' updates. But there is still no clarity on whether user reviews are actually taken into account by developers and implemented in the new release, and whether user reviews tend to respond to developers' release notes. So our preliminary exploration intends to answer one single research question, that is, what are the roles that user reviews play in app updates according to the app release notes? Specifically, we want to know whether developers consider user reviews when updating mobile apps. If yes, how many and which types of reviews contribute to the new releases? Answering this research question would help us understand the value of user reviews for app maintenance and evolution in practice. So the dataset of this study is composed of the app reviews and the release notes of one mobile app, Spotify, in the music category in Apple App Store in region of US. As the most popular mobile application for streaming music, it has hundreds of thousands of reviews, but not many pieces of release notes. So it's well suited for our preliminary manual analysis. So our dataset was pre-processed by means of the 4 steps. We first cut the reviews and release notes into sentences and remove the duplicate release note sentences. Then natural language toolkit was applied to pre-process the data. Then we applied logistic regression and linear sport vector machine, respectively, to filter informative app review sentences and release note sentences. Finally, we remove non-informative parts of the release notes because our pilot study shows removing non-informative parts of the release notes can significantly improve hit radio of the machine, and which is our next step. So then we try to use release notes to measure relevant reviews. We first apply informative release note sentences and informative reviews to train the word-to-vec model, and we average all the word vectors in each sentence to get the sentence vector. Then we apply cosine similarity algorithm to calculate the similarity between each release note sentence and all the review sentences. So we selected the top 18 matched reviews of each release note for manual analysis. That is 2,800 matched reviews in total. Then we used the shown two labels, relevant and irrelevant, to label the matched reviews. So furthermore, we intended to investigate what types of relevant user reviews either catch developers' eyes that contribute to app updates or respond to app updates. So we divided in So we dive into the relevant reviews and use the defined 6 types of relevant reviews to manually label them. Here are the results. First of all, among the 2,800 high similarity reviews, only 1,042 were labeled as relevant, and we also noticed that 6 of the release nodes have no relevant reviews, which means their hit ratio is 0. And also the hit ratios are evenly distributed in these 3 intervals, each accounting for 1/3. So furthermore, we looked into the post time of the release notes and the master reviews. We defined 2 types of user reviews: pre-release reviews, which means they posted before the release note, and post-release reviews, which means they posted after the release note. And here are the numbers and proportions of them respectively. So what reflection can this result lead to? Well, first of all, we can find that only a small percentage of master reviews actually got developers' attention and contribute to the updates, because most master user reviews just mention similar issues or topics to the release notes, but actually they are irrelevant. And we also notice that even though some reviews are relevant, but actually they didn't directly respond to the release notes. They may just mention the same feature, but not exactly the same issues. We still can conclude that developers did take user reviews into account, because we can't find the echo between reviews and the release note, even if only a few. So let's see the result of the type of the relevant user reviews. It's obviously that the pre-release reviews focus more on requests and suggestion and complaints, while post-release reviews are mainly with praise and dispraise. Regarding the bug report and others, the percentages have little difference. So from the figure, we can also have some reflection. Firstly, bug reports, requests, and suggestion and complaint are the 3 most mentioned types. Secondly, it's apparent that the focuses of pre-release and post-release reviews differ. Thirdly, in our cognition, bug reports are supposed to be more pre-release reviews, so we explore this problem and find that the introduction of new features may bring new bugs, and this in turn is likely to lead to larger number of bug reports in post-release reviews. So we can summarize 2 main conclusions. For Spotify, user reviews are indeed taken into account by developers when updating the apps. However, only 37.2% of the hit user reviews are actually relevant to the corresponding release notes. And the pre-release notes, the pre-release reviews for focused on requests, suggestions, and complaints. Post-release reviews pay more attention to bug reports and praise. So generally, we give 4 possible future works. So firstly, it is to expand the size of the experimental data set, such as including more mobile apps from different categories to improve the generalizability of our conclusions. Secondly, we can improve the similarity calculation method according to our research need, such as reducing the impact of noise or non-informative words in sentences on similarity calculation between sentences in order to get a higher accuracy of automatic matching. So certainly, we noticed that there is a jargon barrier between official release notes and the personalized user reviews. Some jargon, for example, timestamp, voiceover, and UI, was seldom used by most of the users. So exploring how to minimize and even eliminate the jargon barrier is likely to improve the matching accuracy. Fourthly, so we can dive into the reviews got attention by developers and try to explore what kinds of reviews tend to be noticed by developers, and this may give guidance on how to write valuable user reviews. And that's all my presentation today. Thanks a lot for your attention. If you have any questions, you can feel free to contact us through this email. Thank you.